Hi friend, welcome to day number 15 of Coming Home, 33 days of self-care. And self-care is basically self-love. People say you need to love yourself, or self-love is where it's at, or whatever they might say about it. How you self-love is by practicing self-care. And that is what we are doing for these 33 days. So good for you, because we are our primary relationship, and how we treat ourselves and how we take care of ourselves is how ultimately the world sees us and treats us. So the more you love yourself and take time for yourself, the more it's going to pay off in your big picture of life. If you would join me in 3 grounding breaths, which I always seem to be needing these days, especially with my husband out of town for a complete month. He's home 1 week from today, so I'm so excited. I'm just breathing till he gets home because I'm feeling pretty over parenting by myself. And I know a lot of people are single parents, but I'm used to somebody who's helping out a lot. So these 5 kids are running me ragged. So if you would just join me in some grounding breaths where we can close our eyes, uncross your legs. I'm going to put my hand over my heart and my soul area. And just take a few breaths before we actually breathe together, and just be in gratitude that we get to breathe, that we are alive and we're here for another day. And just think of maybe a couple of things that you are grateful for. Gratitude is the gateway to abundance. The more you can practice gratitude, when you get in a funk, the other day I went to my meditation class and the girl at the front desk was in a funk and experiencing sadness. And I said to her, feel the sadness, feel all of it so you can really feel it and move through it and then release it. You don't have to hold on to it. And I said, but also turn to your right and look at those little trees that you guys planted and the birds in them, and listen to their song. Like, you can hear them so beautifully. It was like a recording was playing of birds chirping. So she was turned over and she's like, oh, I didn't really notice them over there. So it was really neat. Just if you practice gratitude, especially when you're in a funk, it immediately brings you up and rises you out. Okay, so join me. We'll breathe in through our nose, hold for 2, and out through our mouth. And when you breathe out through your mouth to release, let something go. Just let something out of your body that you no longer like, that no longer is serving you, that you're done with. So breathe in through your nose, hold for 2. Again, in through your nose, hold for 2. One more time, in through your nose, and I like pausing with a breath when I'm breathing, because it reminds me to take that extra pause in life before I react, before I jump onto a thought that gets in my head or an emotion when I get triggered, that I just take a pause and know I don't have to jump on that old angry train. I don't have to react by screaming, which is my pattern with my kids. When I get overwhelmed, all hell breaks loose and I start yelling. And they're almost so used to it that they're getting desensitized. They kind of laugh at me and roll their eyes, which I used to do with my dad when he erupted and exploded. Because I knew under him was a beautiful person and kind, but when he got mad, it was just an explosion. So I was trying to breathe that out a little bit, and there's a helicopter reminding me that it's time to be on with you guys. Today the topic is know all of you. Know all of you. And we were talking about best friends and how best friends would treat us and how best friends act to us. And best friends know us. They know us well, don't they? They know what makes us laugh. They know what is heavy on our heart. They know what pisses us off and what triggers us. And usually they try to avoid that unless they're feeling bad and want to get into it. So our best friends really see all of us. They see all of us. And they learn how to navigate us and how to love us and how to hold us or support us when we need it, encourage us when we're down. But so often with myself, I can see other people's stuff really good and give some heartfelt advice, but with myself a lot of times it's kind of gray and murky. And I'm like, why am I acting this way? What am I doing? Da-da-da. You know, and I it's not as easy to see my stuff as it is to see other people's when I'm observing them. So today I want to focus on knowing all of you. There are many different parts of us. There's our younger self, which we dealt with in the first 11 days and we still are journaling with now. There's our mind, which I think our ego gets wrapped up in our mind. There's our body, from head to toe, our body. That can be one of our biggest allies if we learn to listen to it and hear what it's trying to teach us and show us. And there's also our soul, our wisdom, our wisest self, our true self. So there's all of these different things working at the same time inside of our bodies. When we focus on only one, or we feed one, or we give one the most attention, we are not moving at the full capacity of who we can be. That's how, when you hear people who are really wealthy and they were all focused on success and, feeling good because they made money, then later you find out that they are depressed or they did some self-inflicted thing, with drinking or drugs or suicide even, whatever. It's like once you get that thing that you think is the end all, then you realize, I still feel like shit because something else is off kilter. We give a lot of attention to our bodies. We get hairdos. I get, stuff to get rid of my gray hair, haircuts. Sometimes I curl it. I put on sparkly fingernail polish. I put on Jergens tan cream every once in a while, the daily tan cream. I get Botox in my forehead. We wear makeup and nice shoes and carry bags, and we dress up our little doll suit, our little earth suit. We spend so much time on this outside part. We exercise so this can look good. We do all of these things for our outside, for our appearance. So much attention goes to the outside, although we know, especially the guys who've been doing this with me, we know that the most important work we're to do is inside. And that when you are loved and inside of your own body, the rest of it falls into place. Your world, how you look, everything, it comes together in a beautiful way. So you can spend all the time in your life on your outside and how you look, and you're still not happy, right? Your butt is still too big, or your thighs are still too fat, or you don't like your cellulite, or the chicken fat under your arm moves too much, or guys' muscles aren't big enough, or they don't have a butt. All of these things we give all this time to this physical stuff, and then we're still not happy with it because we're not feeding the other parts of ourselves, which is our soul, our spirit, taking care of our younger self, all of that. When we give attention to all of us, when we get all parts lined up to serve our soul purpose, we then function at our peak performance, and we move through the world with grace and ease. When everything is all lined up supporting your soul, so it's almost like your soul's at the top, and then your body, your younger self, your ego, everything else is in line with and supporting why you're on this planet, is when we are on the top of our game, when we are our best self. Okay, now you might think, well, how do I do this? How do I line everything up? How do I get in touch with all of these different parts of me? I have an easy way, an easy thing to try out. When you wake up in the morning, you can either right when your feet hit the floor and you sit up, or while you're still in bed, take a few breaths and check in with yourself. How am I feeling? What's going on? Am I dreading this freaking day, or am I excited about it? And then you can say, just reading what I wrote. I wrote, meet yourself just where you are. So tune in with yourself, feel how you're doing in that moment, and then meet yourself just where you are with no judgment. Today I'm feeling pretty shitty. What can I do for you? Speaking to wherever in your body that's feeling shitty. Just by saying, I've got you. What do you need today? To yourself. Take my hand. I got this. We're going to do it together. Like, you can create this community of all of these things inside of yourself where you're getting the information and they're all working together as they should be, because they're all a part of you to help you move forward in a powerful way. So just checking in with yourself, getting to know yourself. What's going on? Where do I feel funky? How can I remedy this? And asking yourself, because you've got a bunch of different parts of you, what can I do? How can I help you? What do you need? I've got you. I've got you. And that's where you get into the whole thing that we no longer need our parents to get us. We no longer need our spouse to love us, to feel valid and worthy. We no longer need our kid to think we're a good mom. Thank you. Have a good day. We no longer need that was my pool guy. We no longer need other people to validate us or take care of us or hold us. We can go in, check in, and go, hey, how are you? Where are you today? How can I be of service? Take my hand. I'm here for you. So it's the same thing that we were doing with our younger self. We can do with ourselves every day before our feet hit the floor. We don't have to stand up and go, ugh, I dread this day, and then move out to the people around us and start like this, and then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. We can just go, I'm feeling off. Why is it I didn't sleep enough? Or whatever it is. And when you ask, what do you need today? Listen. Quiet your mind and listen. You will always get an answer if you allow yourself to hear it. You know, the most evolved or, enlightened people on the journey of enlightenment are so wise because they're quieting their mind. They are not quieting their mind. The people who have all this wisdom and all that are exactly the same as us. The only difference is they're quieting their minds so they can hear the whispers of our soul. And our souls have all the big shit information, all the big powerful stuff that we are here to do and where to go and what path to walk on. But if you're here, then you can't hear here. That's why it's a whisper of the soul. Because if everyone could hear it, then we'd all be perfect and walking around. But you have to quiet your crazy to hear the good shit. In my meditation class today, the meditation teacher said, what are 3 small things? During the meditation, she said this. What are 3 small things you can do today to take care of yourself? And I got quiet and I asked myself, what are 3 small things I can do today to take care of you? Number 1 came up, go to bed earlier, get more sleep. Number 2 came up, meditate daily. And number 3 came up, stop drinking. And in that moment, I watched my mind jump in and go, oh, hell no, that's bullshit. Scratch off the 3rd one. You don't need that one because tonight is your women's writing class and you're bringing rosé wine. Cross that shit right off. 2 out of 3 is good. And it was funny as I was observing myself during this meditation to hear my soul part, to hear my heart and my spirit talking clearly, and then to see my mind, my ego go, fuck that part, cross that off. And I just started laughing. Now, I can't tell you if I'm bringing my rosé tonight. I have not decided. I know the healthy choice would be not, but am I going to choose healthiness? I don't know. But it was just funny to observe that when you get quiet, you hear the good shit. And then your brain second guesses it. And another meditation class, someone said, well, how do you know it's your soul talking or your spirit or whatever? And she was, usually after you get quiet and you ask, the first thing that comes up is is from your true self. The next thing that comes that starts to second guess it or judge it, that is your mind or your ego. So I was like, oh, that's what happened to me. I kind of like both of my, I like being human, so I like all of it. But if I'm going to be healthy tonight, maybe I won't drink and I'll try to go to bed right after class. Whatever. Okay. All right. The more you understand and connect with all aspects of yourself, I'm going to give Butter 2 points for the takedown on that one. All right, I'm almost done here. The more you understand and are connected with all aspects of yourself, the happier, healthier, and more successful life you will lead. And here's my quote. When I connect with all of me, my mind, body, younger self, and soul, I am badass. I am unstoppable. God, thank you for my dogs that remind me to be tender and slow down. Thank you for everyone who is watching that I get to connect with during this series and learn from and grow with. Bless my husband David, who's out of town, and get him home safely, please, in a week. Sending love and light to all who are hurting in their hearts, in their bodies, their minds. Let us realize how powerful we are and how when we can get quiet, magic can happen. Amen. Thank you guys so much. And I want to remind you I did my journaling before we got on. Find your journal, write day number, what it is. I think it's 14 if you're still doing the journal with your younger self. Ask your younger self, what do you want to tell me today, and have a listen. The more you connect with those old parts of you and start to heal and start to let your younger self be heard, really, the freer you're going to be to love and to have a kick-ass time. Oh, and I wore my shirt today, Spiritual Badass, coming soon to my website, because I said I felt badass when I'm all connected to myself. All right, thank you guys so much for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow for day number 16. Whoop, whoop. Bye.